Hello there, and welcome to In the Tradition, presented by the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs, presenters of the Atlanta Jazz Festival. And my name is Ray Cornelius, host of WCLK's Upfront Inside the Entertainment Industry. And I'm super excited to be talking to jazz guitarist Pasquale Grasso. Very excited to be talking to you. How are you?
I'm good. Hello, everybody. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's a nice day in New York, and it's great to talk to you. And finally, we got the time right and the computer and everything. So I'm very excited to talk to you.
absolutely. All of those technical issues out of the way, and now talking to you again. We're really excited about this. And this is really part of a virtual series that the Atlanta Jazz Festival has been presenting over the past couple of weeks now. Very, very positive information coming out of these interviews. And we want to jump right into your career, what's been going on with you. You've been very busy. You actually just released new music titled Solo Ballads, and this is sort of your take on your favorite ballads. I mean, you've got Embraceable You, Over the Rainbow. There's also Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. Let's talk about that project.
Yeah, that's really fun project. In the last 3 years, I recorded with Sony Masterworks and with producer Matt Pearson that had the idea of first putting those EP together. That is pretty cool. So people they keep they keep hearing new stuff from me, every few months, so I thought that was a good way of presenting new music. And the last one, just my favorite ballads. I've been playing those songs since I've been hearing and playing those songs since I was a little kid. I started when I was 5 years old, and Over the Rainbow, I remember hearing Art Tatum and Bud Powell playing that before I watched the movie. Yeah, and then when I watched the movie, I said, "Oh, this is great!" That's just my favorite ballads to play. And they work well with the guitar. Solo guitar is one of my favorite things to do. It's very hard, but it's a lot of work to put through arrangement and try to understand how to play melodies and chords together. But it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to.
I was going to say this is part of a three-part album series that's you're launching this from 2021. It's going to go all the way to 22. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, last April, I recorded another half of the a new album that is gonna be a tribute to Duke Ellington. So the first part is solo guitar, and then the second part is gonna be with my trio with Ari Roland and Keith Balla. And so it's nice to have an album that is half solo and half with my trio, because most of the stuff I have right now is just solo, and I want people to hear me with my band, because that's what I mainly like to do, to play with a jazz band with drums and bass.
Pasquale, I want to take our listeners back because you've been doing this for quite a long time, and it's really been a family affair, not just you as a solo artist, but this, your career has involved your brother Luigi, correct?
Sure, yeah, he actually he's been my idol since he started play saxophone, and he's such a smart person and very talented musician. We grew up playing together, so we helped each other. It was our game when we were kids. I started when I was 5, and Luigi was maybe I was 4, and Luigi was 6. So we grew up playing music together. My parents, they love music. They could never be a musician because they did different stuff in their life. My dad is a mechanic and my mom is a nurse. So but they love music, so they wanted to see if we would be interested in music, and we were. So we grew up playing, and that's all we wanted to do. Sometimes our friend, they would call and say, "Let's go play soccer." I'm like, "No, we're playing. We like that's our game." So yeah.
And what was it about jazz music? Because when I think of Italy, there's so much music that comes out of that beautiful country. I mean, opera, of course, is something
Sure.
there. But what was it about jazz that really captured your attention and really, pulled you in and said, look, this is where I want to go with my musical
I
career?
think it was the feeling that the music was giving me, and I remember the first time I heard Charlie Parker and Bud Powell, and and Dizzy Gillespie, Miles, and all the great. I had the great feeling in me, and as soon as I heard that, I knew exactly what I wanted to do in my life. They captured me, they got me, and they said, "If you like this," and I said, "I do like this." Something about the feeling that gives me, and that is different than folk Italian music and opera or classical. I studied classical guitar too, and I love playing classical guitar, but it doesn't give me the same feeling when I play it. The freedom that you have with improvisation is what makes me makes me happy when I play. So that's what all I want to do. And
Let's talk about your transition from Italy to the United States. Of course, you landed in New York City. It never sleeps and never stops. So how was that transition for you? Uh, from
I was very excited because before I moved here, actually, I used to come here with Luigi and my friend Stefano, a great bass clarinet player. And we used to come just for 3 months and then leave. But once I finished the conservatory, I was studying in Bologna, classical guitar. Once I got my master, I knew I wanted to go to New York because, New York is the heart of jazz. And so when we would come here, I'd see all these great musicians, and I would see that I could see them every day. I could go out every day and see music every day and try to play with the people that I like. And I didn't speak English when I moved here, so that was kind of rough because because all I could do is play, and try to meet people. But I think I did it the right time. I was around 20 years old, and it was the right time for me. I was I had so much energy and I really wanted to do it. So when you're in your 20s, you don't care about a lot of things, so you just say, I want to do this. This is my decision. I don't care what happens. I'm just gonna go for it, and that's what I did. And I'm glad I did it. And now it's been almost 10 years that I'm in New York.
wow. Pat Metheny has played a very huge role in your career. He served as an idol for you. He also gave you one of the biggest compliments, I think, an
I know.
give, yeah, to one of his pupils. So, what was that experience like? And you've had an opportunity to actually work with him. What was that whole journey like, going from, seeing this person as someone that you look up to actually being able to play with him?
Well, is Pat Metheny is one of the greatest modern jazz guitarists, and such a great person too. Every time I meet somebody that plays beautiful music and is a great artist, they're always the nicest people ever. I never met a great artist that is not a good person. So that. And then his music is, my dad always loved. He always had CDs of him. So for me to hang out with him and play a few tunes with him, that we did a couple of times, I was like, oh wow, this is like a dream, and he helped me. I'm, I feel very happy that I got to meet him, and sometimes we talk, and he's such a smart person and just an artist. It's hard to meet real artists, and he was around a lot of all the greatest musicians. So as much as I can hang out with him and talk to him, I do it because
And did he share with you any words of wisdom or anything that really stands out in terms of helping you with your career?
we played. I mean, I think when I saw him with my eyes playing, I could see. I learned so much, and I said, "Oh, wow, I never heard the guitar sound in that way." So just that experience was really nice. To be able to see Pat in 3 feet from me, and be able to hear him play and look at him playing guitar. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Let's talk about you being a jazz ambassador. I believe it was in 2012 that you started working as a jazz ambassador for the U.S. around the world. So can we
Well,
talk?
yeah, I used to sub out because my the bass player I play with, Ari Roland, his group, they work with the embassy, and sometimes when somebody can't do it, Ari gets me to play to go around the world and play some concert, and I've been with them. I worked with Ari, and it's called the Ari Roland Chris Byers Quartet. He brought me to Ukraine and to Kazakhstan and Kuwait, and we went to India, but bunch of places, and it was wonderful to do that. I'm so happy I got to play with great musicians like Ari and Chris Byers and Zayn Nasser, and Keith Bala, and just traveling around the world and see new places and new cultures, and new people. It's what I that it's what I like most. Traveling is one of my favorite things.
One of the things that when I was doing research about you, I realized, the world stopped last year with the COVID, with the coronavirus. But for you, it seems as if things, you know, you actually added more things to your plate. And one of those things is the master class that you offer. Can we talk about that series as well?
Well, sure. Yeah, I love teaching. I've been teaching since I got here in New York, and I've been working with my music masterclass. That is a great website, and Adam is a great guy, and is great to work with, and so we do this webinar and a masterclass, and then I offer also. I'm teaching privately, and I'm the guitar teacher at Purchase, sunny Purchase up in White Plains, and it's great. I had to find something to do because otherwise I would have gone crazy. It's not be able to play, to perform, and just to play for people. That's what I like to do, and so I try to organize little Zoom concert and little master classes. It's a way to keep in contact with the music people. Otherwise, I would have really gone crazy.
And I was going to say, being in New York City, which has almost been somewhat of the epicenter for the coronavirus, especially when things first hit the United States, it went from the West Coast and quickly to New York City. What were some of the things that you did outside of doing the master class to keep yourself busy and sane as an artist during that time?
Well, practice a lot. That's for sure. And I took it as a moment to really improve things in music that I couldn't do it because I was working almost every day in New York. And you go out and then you play a gig and the next day you're tired, but you have to get you have to go to the next gig. So this year for me was a really a year that I could really improve certain things that I've been one for years. I just didn't have the time. And reading a lot and watching a lot of movies, try to exercise as keep my mind busy because it's really sad what happened for all artists. The best thing for me is be able to play music for people, and they just took that from us. And that was weird. There was. Especially at night, I would sit on the sofa with my girlfriend, and I would go completely crazy because I'm like, I want to play some music. I want to go out and play music. And she's like, play for me. So I would play for her. She's like, okay, now it's calm down.
Yeah. The world is starting to open up now. We're seeing a lot of cities are lifting the bans on restrictions, including restaurants where jazz is performed, as well as
Yeah.
some venues. How comfortable are you to get back on a stage in front of an audience and perform?
Pretty comfortable. I got both of my vaccine. I'm vaccinated, so still, sometimes it's a little weird because you don't know if you're gonna catch it or not, even if with the vaccine. But wear the mask and wash your hands, and I'm pretty happy to be playing anywhere I can these days because I really miss that. Yeah, and it gives me such a beautiful feeling to go out and play with my band or by myself, and for people, even if it's in a restaurant, and they're eating, but they have the music in their background, and makes them happy, and makes me happy that I can help them and I can play some music for them.
Is there any chance that you'll take this new album and maybe travel back home to Italy? Because that's also been a country that's been really hit hard by this coronavirus, and possibly do a fundraising concert. Any thoughts of doing something like that?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I actually had the chance to go there for Christmas for 10 days because I have a green card, so I could travel. And I said, and I haven't seen my parents in a year back in Christmas, so I said I'm just gonna do it. And my mom is a nurse. She worked with COVID patient all year long, so she's like, it's probably I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. So then, if you wanna come, come. So I went there and I quarantined in an apartment for 5 days. Then I took a test and I was negative, so I could hang out with my parents. It was nice. It's nice. It's always nice to go back home and enjoy the good food and all the people that I grew up with. It's pretty. I miss that.
Yeah. So I did a little digging on your social media, your IG platform, and I came across a photo that I thought was very interesting. And this was taken back, I believe the date was March 27th of 2018. It's a
Yeah.
photo that says Jazz is Dead. That was a couple of years ago. What are your thoughts on that now, and especially with everything that has happened around the world? Do you feel that jazz music is still on a decline?
Well, that was just a flyer I saw in the street. I thought it was kind of funny because sometimes I think since I'm a pretty traditional musician. I love swing music and bebop and hard bop. This is my and sometimes I think that jazz is going in too many different directions, and they're forgetting that it's still a dance. It was still for dance. It was dance music. But it's nice that everybody can do anything they want with music. And that's the beauty of that. There is a certain freedom. Everybody has to be who they are, and how they feel comfortable. I feel comfortable playing, music of Charlie Christian and Charlie Parker. Other people likes to write music and experiment, and they should do that. That's why we live in this sport, because everybody should be happy with what they do. So I thought it was kind of funny, funny, but also a little real. So I said, oh, I'll take a picture of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason why I brought that up is because there have been so many conversations about music, period. Whether it's jazz, whether it's R&B, whether it's rock,
Yeah.
the music is changing because the different platforms, the different way that we get music now is totally different from where it was 20 years ago. So just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that. Let's, if we can, talk about your performance that will be taking place at the Atlanta Jazz Festival later on this year. Is this your first time here in Atlanta?
Yes, it's gonna be my first time, and I'm so excited because I have so many friends in Atlanta, and one of my best friend lives there, and he always wanted me to go there, and I never had the chance, and so I'm so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to spend some time in Atlanta and have a cup of coffee with you. Not virtual, but we can just go and have some coffee or a drink, or it'd be
Yeah,
fun. It'd be
yeah.
it'd be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. And will that performance feature this new album as well as what you've done before?
I think so. Yeah, some of the songs, yeah, and some of the next song. Maybe I'll write some songs and I'll play some original. You never know. I still don't know. I like to wait until the last second to decide what I'm gonna play, because if I decide it now, I'm gonna feel completely different in
Right.
September. So we'll wait and see. It'll be a surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. This series is titled In the Tradition. And so I wanted to know, is there something traditional that you do that's part of your, as you say, as you're pulling albums together, as you're pulling songs together or your performances together that you've been doing throughout the years that never changes?
Um, yeah, it's wake up and practice as much as I can, and listening to good music and try to play with people every day, and try to be a better person and a better musician every day. Even if we may make mistakes, and you say, okay, tomorrow is gonna be another day. We'll try again. But I don't like to think about myself like somebody that will fail. I always gonna try and to get better. That's me. That's my personality. I want to see myself every month go a little more up and up. As a person and as a musician. Maybe more as a musician.
And is there a desire to collaborate with artists outside of the jazz genre? I would only imagine that we could possibly get some from you that features classical jazz music as well as classical opera. Has that ever crossed your mind? Of cross-
Sure. My dream one of my dreams is to play a concert with the guitar and strings. It's a violin, cello, and double bass, and maybe somebody who could write the arrangement for my songs, or play anything. But one of my dream is to play a concert with a full orchestra. Another one is to play a concert with a classical guitar player. That would be a good thing, yeah. But I'm so scared of them because they play so perfect. When I look at classical guitarists, and I studied classical, but I changed my technique for jazz because that's what I do now. But whenever I look at a classical guitar, it's so scary because their hands they move perfectly, and that's what I always wanted. So, but one day it'll happen. I'm still working and practicing and trying to get the guitar together. It's a hard instrument.
Yeah. What bit of advice would you give to someone who may be watching this, who has a child that is interested in music, because you've been doing this since you were 5 years old? What advice would you give to that parent who has a child that is looking to step into the music industry?
Just to support them and see if they really love it. If they really love it, to support them and make sure that they do the work. That's what my parents did. Sometimes I remember my mom sitting on a chair next to me and said, "You have to practice. You have to practice 1 hour. Let's do it." And every day it has to be something that you do every day, because has to be something that you do constantly. If you do it once a week, it's not going to be there. It's like exercising. When you go for a run every day, even if it's a little bit, your body gets used to that. And it's the same with music. If you play guitar every day, then your hands they know where to go. If you do it once a week, you know less chance.
Yeah. And if you weren't a guitarist, what do you think your career would have been? Your career choice would have been if you were not in music?
I couldn't tell. That's been all my life. I don't see myself as doing any other job. I don't know who I would be if I didn't have the guitar. Or jazz and music in general. I don't know. Maybe I would be like a pizza maker, or I don't know. I have no idea.
And then I want to know, who are you listening to right now? Who are some jazz artists that you are listening to right now?
Um, a lot. I got really into Paul Gonzalez in the last couple of months. He was the tenor player for the Duke Ellington band, but he recorded a lot of albums in his name, which is with a small band with a quartet. And there is a great album with him that is called Paul Gonzalez meets Earl Hines, the great piano player. And I've been listening to that a lot. Usually when I get into a recording, that's all I listen to for a month. I don't like to play too many different things. And then of course I always listen to the great Bud Powell. Is one of my idol, and can I don't think there's been one day that I don't put something of his on his recording, because it's one of my favorite. I was listening to him playing Moonlight in Vermont this morning, and it was great. That because I didn't really want to practice this morning, because I got my vaccine and I feel a little, the second dose was a little tough. But then I put the recording on, and I was like, the guitar was looking at me. I said, "Okay, here, I'll take you." So music helps. They help me sometimes when I don't want to. When I'm lazy, say, okay, it's too beautiful. I need to play right now.
So it's more than just what you do, but it also relaxes you. It's really a part of just who you are. Period. Just
Sure, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, Pasquale Grasso, thank you so very much for being our guest today on
Thank you.
Tradition. And of course, this is all being presented by the Atlanta Jazz Festival. How can our viewers stay in contact with you socially, your social media platforms, if you will?
Well, on Instagram, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And if you have any question, if you go to my website pasqualegrasso.com, there is in the contacts you can write me an email, and it might take me few days to respond, but I'll do my best to respond to everybody. Yeah.
All right. Again, we look forward to seeing you this fall as part of the Atlanta Jazz Festival. And this is In the Tradition, presented by the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs, presenters of the Atlanta Jazz Festival. We look so forward to seeing you later, okay?
Me too.